Hello my friends, I'm here to do a review on these two movies, both directed by Adam Green. I know one of my friends, known as the Corn Freak 5544, asked me if I could do a review on these two movies. Movies are Hatchet 1 and Hatchet 2, both directed by Adam Green, and both have to do with this monster named Victor Crowley. These are two good movies. They're really good movies, and these are the two unrated DVD versions. Hatchet 1 and Hatchet 2. Well, I'm going to start with Hatchet 1. The beginning of the movie, the two guys are on a boat in the swamp, and they're fishing, and all of a sudden, somebody comes around and tears the two guys apart. And the next day, a group of people are in New Orleans having a Mardi Gras party. And these two kids, Ben and Marcus, meet with these other kids, and Ben wants to go his own way. He leaves, and Marcus decides to join them. They stop at this voodoo shop owned by a guy named Revert Zombie. And they ask them about a haunted swamp tour. So they decided to go into the voodoo shop, and they meet these two girls and this camera guy filming the two sexy women, sexy girls, taking their tops off. And they meet Sean, who is known as the tour guide. All of a sudden, everybody goes on the bus. They join these two old couple, and Ben meets Mary Beth. All of a sudden, they ride through the cemetery. And Sean tells everybody what goes on. And all of a sudden, at one point, they get off the bus and they get on a boat in the swamp, and they take the swamp tour. At one point, there's a man in the canoe that warns them about Victor Crowley, and they all think he's a legend. Now, as they're riding, as they go around, Sean starts to tell them about a story about a ghost. They pass a house with a hatchet, and Sean mentions Victor Crowley finally. They say that Victor Crowley cries for his dad. They don't believe it, and they don't think it's true. They think Victor Crowley is just a legend. They crash into a rock in the water. It starts to rain. You can't get the boat to move. And then all of a sudden the boat begins to sink, and everybody's panicking because it's dark and it's rainy. And the alligator decides to bite Jim, one of the old couple, Jim's leg. Everyone leaves the boat, and it's raining hard. All of a sudden Mary Beth has a gun. Everyone is in the woods, and the rain stops. Mary Beth tells a story about Victor Crowley. Victor Crowley has been hidden in the cabin by his father. He was afraid of other kids. Kids would tease him. One Halloween night, 3 teenage kids burned Victor's house with Victor inside. They see Mr. Crowley, Victor's father, and they run away. Tom Crowley, his father, tried to get Victor out. He tried chopping out a door and accidentally hits Victor in the head with the hatchet. And Victor dies, and they all think Victor is dead. And everybody is in the lake, around in the woods, and all of a sudden, Victor Crowley comes around. Victor Crowley comes down and kills everybody. He hits and chops Jimmy with the hatchet, and he rips his wife, Janice's, head off from her mandible. What Victor does is, he puts his hands in Janice, the old lady's mouth, and rips her head apart like that. Wow, that's like a great killing. That's like a good rip. Ripping somebody apart like that. Mary Beth gets her gun and shoots Victor Crowley. Victor Crowley falls down and everybody runs away. And Shapiro, the guy who films the two girls, gets killed next. Victor just rips Shapiro's, it twists his head off. Victor just twists Shapiro's head right off. And Marcus, Missy, Sean, and Jenna look at a bush, and something is in the bush. It's just a raccoon. And suddenly Victor comes with some kind of a buzzing saw or something. It gets Jenna and hits Jenna in the face with it and cutting Jenna's face. Ben tries to stop her with a real big garden fork. He takes a shovel and cuts Sean's foot off. Sean falls down, and all of a sudden Victor Crowley takes the shovel, shoves it on Sean's neck, and chops Sean's head right off with that shovel. Like he just pushed his foot into the shovel and cuts Sean's head off. All of a sudden he grabs Jenna, fishes Jenna off. He picks up Jenna over his head, and he slams her on the handle shovel and pushes her down and makes the handle shovel go through Jenna's body. Victor Crowley's just one strong monster, I'm telling you. He's awesome too. Ben stabs Victor with the large garden fork. They run away. All of a sudden they can't find Misty. Misty is the other girl that takes pictures and is on camera with Jenna. They can't find Misty anyway, and all of a sudden a head has appeared. It's Misty's head. Victor just tore Misty apart, piece by piece. All of a sudden it's Ben, Misty, and Marcus left, and they run away. They try to stop Victor. Ben and Mary Beth finally try to stop Victor Crowley. They fight him, they throw gasoline on him, and they burn him. They burn Victor Crowley, he falls down, and all of a sudden, it begins to rain again. And Ben, Mary Beth, and Marcus just run away. Victor's not dead yet. And Victor just jumps in front of them, runs after them with the hatchet. Victor Crowley has his hatchet again. Ben falls down, Victor lands right on him, and Victor spits some kind of spit, like oozy spit, on Ben's face. Marcus and Mary Beth try to help him, and all of a sudden, Victor rips off the arms of Marcus. He rips Marcus's arms off. He just grabs Marcus, he's behind Marcus, and just rips his arms right off. And he takes the rest of Marcus's body and swings it and slams it into that tomb. And Ben and Mary Beth remain. Ben just starts puking all that stuff out. The oozy spit out that Victor spit in his face in. Victor rips off a piece off a gate, or one of those real long sticks, real long poles from the gate, rips it right off, goes after Ben and Mary Beth, he stabs it and sticks it through Ben's foot. Then all of a sudden, Mary Beth helps Ben, and they take the metal stick from the gate that stuck in Ben's foot. They push it away from them. Victor comes running by, and they stab Victor Crowley. It goes right through Victor Crowley's body. And all of a sudden, Ben and Mary Beth finally run away. Ben and Mary Beth go into a small boat. They go on it. They're riding away. They're in the swamp. All of a sudden, someone's underneath the boat. Mary Beth goes right in the water. She's underwater looking around. She sees Ben's hand. She grabs Ben's hand. Comes out of the water, and all of a sudden, Victor's on the boat. And he just ripped Ben's arm off. Ben's just laying there on the boat, dead, with his arm ripped off with blood all over. And that's the end of part 1. And that's how part 2 came along. Because part 2, Hatchet 2, takes place right after Hatchet 1 left off. Victor grabs Mary Beth. Mary Beth presses on Victor's eye. Victor falls off the boat, and she swims away. This is Hatchet 2 now. That strange man with the yellow jacket brings Mary Beth into his house. And the guy with the yellow jacket doesn't even know who she is. And all of a sudden, he finds out who she is, and he tells her to get out of his house. Mary Beth leaves his house, and all of a sudden, Victor's around. But before that happens, the man with the yellow jacket finds Shapiro's camera. And he turns the video camera on, and all of a sudden, he's watching all women, naked girls. And Victor comes by finally. Victor pulls the man with the yellow jacket, pulls his intestines right out of his body, out of his stomach, takes the intestines, wraps them around the guy's neck, the guy with the yellow jacket, chokes the guy, and the guy's head falls right off, and blood splatters everywhere. I think the Kelly's just one strong monster, like I said. And Mary Beth's finally in town. She's walking through New Orleans, and she stops at that voodoo shop and sees Reverend Zombie. Brings her inside. Mary Beth tells Reverend Zombie what happened the night before. Or that everybody was killed and Victor CROWLEY's alive. The zombie tells Mary Beth the real true story about Victor CROWLEY. Tells her about his father, Tom CROWLEY. His wife, Shannon, was sick. A nurse comes by, a Cajun nurse, and Tom and the nurse come close to each other as Tom's wife, Cheyenne, dies. So Cheyenne comes back and possesses Lena. Lena's that nurse that Tom falls in love with. They have their little love together. And Victor is born. Victor CROWLEY was born. He was born with a grotesque tumor disease. That's why he's all different from all the other kids. As soon as Victor was born, Lena, that Cajun nurse, dies. She's dead, gone. And same thing with the first Hatchet, Hatchet 1, about Victor CROWLEY. Tom had Victor put away, hidden away in the cabin. All kids made fun of Victor, teased him, and the teenage kids, 3 teenage kids on Halloween night, burn Victor's house. They run away. Tom gets mad, tries to get Victor out, gets the hatchet, tries to chop the door down, and accidentally hits Victor in the head. Victor dies. But Victor wasn't really dead. Everybody knows that. And all of a sudden, 10 years later, Tom CROWLEY dies from a broken heart. Then Mary Beth leaves the voodoo shop, and Justin, who happens to be Sean's brother, you know, the swamp tour guide from the first Hatchet movie, died. And River Zombie and Justin began to plan a meeting. But as the day goes on, Mary Beth stays with her Uncle Bob. They argue about Reverse Zombie and Victor Crowley. They go to the voodoo shop, and a group of people are involved. There's a meeting going on. Reverse Zombie offers everybody a job to find Victor Crowley and kill him. And whoever kills him gets rewarded $500. And find the boat as well. The boat from the night before when everybody was killed. They get on a boat and they try to find the boat that was lost from the night before. They see the sign from the lost boat. Flown right in the swamp, right in the water. This guy named Vernon, he tries to be funny with Mary Beth. And Uncle Bob gets pissed off because he didn't want anybody bothering Mary Beth. Everybody gets off the boat and they start looking for Victor Crowley. This guy named Chad, who is on a different boat with another guy, looks through the bush. Victor Crowley comes out. He busts Chad in the mouth with his hatchet. The other guy runs away, gets on a boat, and tries to get started. Victor sneaks behind the other guy and pulls him into the water. Victor shoves his face into the blades under the boat and cuts his face up. Cuts that guy's face up. The guy who was hanging out with Chad. And we have these two loving couple, they decide to have a little fun together. Maybe a little sex. Well, you know, loved ones have sex all the time. Victor comes by, he chops the guy's head off. His body gets stuck on the woman's body. She sees Victor and screams, sticks the hatchet in her back. Victor takes the hatchet, stabs the woman right in the back with it, and the hatchet's stuck. He's pulling it and pulling it. And all of a sudden he pulls it out, blood splatters right on a tree. And these two other guys come along. Vernon and another guy, some older guy with white hair. Victor comes out with a chainsaw and cuts them both. Cuts them in half vertically. With a real long chainsaw. It's got a real long saw. He cuts both of them at the same time, one behind the other, from bottom to top. So all of a sudden it's Mary Beth, Uncle Bob, Reverse Zombie, a man with a white goatee, and Justin remain. Victor comes around, sneaks behind Justin. He throws the hatchet on Justin's back. He takes that buzzing saw I used on Jenna in the first movie and gets Justin right in the head, behind his head. Victor breaks through the door and throws Mary Beth against the hole. All of a sudden, Justin dies. His brain is sticking down the back of his head from that buzzing saw. The man with the goatee, the white goatee, begins to fight Victor Crowley. Reverse Zombie begins to take Mary Beth away out of the house. Victor takes the man with the white goatee, shoves his head through a table. Takes the guy's head. Looks like the guy's biting the table. Victor pushes his head falls right off, and his head just goes flying right across the table. Let me tell you something, Victor Crowley does awesome kills. I mean, these are like amazing kills I've never even seen before. Reverse Zombie locks Uncle Bob in the house with Victor. Uncle Bob tries to fight Victor. They're fighting, all of a sudden blood splatters through a window. Uncle Bob is dead. Victor comes out of the house. Victor and Reverse Zombie begin to fight. Victor begins to cut Reverse Zombie. Cuts him in half with the hatchet. Reverse Zombie falls down. He's cut in half horizontally. He's cut in half. Victor Crowley grabs him from his spine, you know, his upper body, rips the skin right off his body. Looks like Rebirth Zombie was just skinned. Mary Beth all of a sudden starts to fight. She grabs the hatchet, begins cutting up Victor Crowley's face. Victor falls down. Mary Beth gets on him and starts chopping his face away with the hatchet. His face is all chopped up. He's still alive, he's moving, but all of a sudden, Mary Beth gets a gun and shoots him away. And that was it. Victor Crowley was dead. Mary Beth survived. That was the end of Victor Crowley. Hatchet 1 and 2 are two great movies. Adam Green is an awesome director. I still watch the behind the scenes. These are two great movies. Great killing. Awesome horror flicks. Hatchet is a great movie. Victor Crowley is awesome. He's amazing. He's like one of those big superhuman mutant monsters. The zombies that rip people apart. These were great movies, I'm telling you. If you haven't seen these movies, you should buy them or rent them. And that's all thanks to the Corn Freak 5544. This review video was just for you, because you wanted me to do it. And I hope you enjoy it, and I'll have other videos coming up. I may have another review coming up. Next review I'm doing is a review on Freddy vs. Jason, and I'll see you later. Later, my friends.